here with Tierrafae Creations. Thanks so much for tuning in for another soap making adventure. Today's soap I've got really fancy with, and I piped some flowers. Now it's been a very long time since I piped flowers, and so I'm really excited about this soap, of course. I am starting off by mixing this with a whisk because I want to do a layer, and if you've been following me, I got a new stick blender and I'm not a big fan of it. It's very powerful, and it's going to get my soap to trace a little too quick. So to avoid it getting too thick on me while the other layer sets up, I am going to whisk this together. I've just poured in my lye solution that has goat milk powder in it, kaolin clay, and some sodium lactate. The theme of this soap is poppies. I'll go into more about the design in a bit, but we're going to start off by splitting off a good portion of this for the bottom layer of the soap. So for the bottom layer of this, I am going to color it with some Red Vibrance by Nurture. And I'm going to try to darken that up just a tiny little bit with some activated charcoal. I really want a dark red, but I don't want it to be like unnoticeable as the color of a poppy. So hopefully that'll do it. Let's give that a mix and see what we've got here. I'm going to go ahead and add my fragrance. This is called Opium Fields. It is by Nature's Garden and Candle. It is supposed to be a dupe if you've ever heard of the opium perfume. I don't know how popular it is anymore. I know a lot of older ladies would wear it when I worked at the Walgreens cosmetic counter as a teenager. It was never my favorite smell, but I think I've grown to like it a little more as an adult, or I'm getting old. But we're gonna mix that in, and I'm gonna get the molds. We're gonna pour up this first layer. So while that layer is setting up, let's work on the rest of these cups here. So I'm going to pour off a bit of this batter into these little cups and set them off to the side because I want to pipe with them. The rest of it I'm going to divide amongst these two larger buckets, well, bucket and bowl, bucket and cup, and color them. I can't wait to talk to you guys more about this fragrance. I had to do a little research before I made the soap to look up the notes in it. But let me scrape out this big container. It's been a while since I've pressed the button. Thought I was filming, but I didn't press the button. So I've added some activated charcoal into the cup with a little bit of like a black mica from an old soap supply company that I'm still trying to use up. I've got titanium dioxide and some poppy seeds in the big bowl. You gotta have poppy seeds in a poppy soap, right? These are going to be the things that I pipe on top of the soap. So I'm going for leaves. I'm gonna add a little bit of Savage Garden to the cup with a little bit of titanium dioxide in there. And then into this cup I've added some Extravagant Gold Sparkle Mica. Extravagant Sparkle Mica, that's a gold from my mica obsession that Keely sends me every now and then, and I love it. So I am going to start by mixing these two and set the other guys off to the side. Alright, add my fragrance, and then I think what I'm going to do is a drop swirl with these two colors. The fragrance notes, and it's long: tangerine, cloves, plums, coriander, lily of the valley, carnation, apopanox, rose, myrrh, sandalwood, castoreum, cedar, and cedar. So there's a lot of notes in that. It's very floral, with all those like flowery notes in there, but then they add in these like smoky, incensey, musk, resin scent notes to it. So I think that's the part that I like about it. I'm not big on the florals, and I think that's why I like it a little bit more as an adult, because those are my fragrances. And I think the old ladies used to walk around Walgreens and purchase it. It was always too much. It was very cloying and overpowering and suffocating, is probably the reason why I never appreciated it when I was younger. It's also like a very dark colored perfume, if I remember. Like the oil is pretty dark in it as well, like brown looking. Just brown perfume just doesn't sound good, I guess. And let's get these poured into our molds over top of that red layer. So going on top of this soap, I have piped some little poppies. They're not perfect. Use your imagination. I do my best. I never liked piping flowers because I was never good at it, and I used to practice a lot when I worked in the bakery. I'd like work night shifts and then go in the cake decorators area and play with all her stuff, and she probably hated me in the morning because I was like using up her icing in her icing bags. But yeah, I've never quite perfected it, but I think they're cute. Probably the last time I've piped any type of flowers was when I made the soap before. Now I've made the soap before, but I've not made it a YouTube video or a public soap that was available for purchase, because I was contacted by the wedding photographer Bradley and I used to make her a custom loaf of soap, because what she does is she would send out, do small ones last, she would send out gifts if you signed up with her to do any type of photos, and I still have mine. It was a really cute thing to get in the mail and be like, you know, they really care. So I made her some custom soaps, and her logo is a poppy. And so I made her these soaps that were similar but not the same. I didn't do the black and white swirl in it. It was just like the red layer and the white base with the poppy seeds in it. I added the black swirl to it this time. And that's probably the last time I've made a soap that had pipe flowers on it. That was a long time ago. It's been years. So, and I just don't have the time to do it now. Because of the kid, being a stay-at-home mom, I don't get around to such intricate soaps anymore, but it's fine. I still have to fit one more on here. And then I'm going to get some piping together and just kind of fill in the areas that don't have the flower on it. So this tip is called a 21. I don't know. It's like a very closed star tip, and then of course I've got my leaf tip over here. So I'm just going to go in and try and fill in with maybe some little rosettes or little whatever these things are, little dollops. I think that's what I want to do. Just fill in with some dollops and some leaves. So the notes in this, like I had listed, are very floral and very musky. And as I was reading these to myself, some of them were a little hard to pronounce, like the apopanox. I'm like, I think that's how you say it, but I had to look it up just to make sure it didn't sound like something else. I don't know. And then there's the castoreum. I'm like, what the heck is that? Well, I looked that up and it rang a bell. I knew what that was. I just didn't remember the word for it. I like to buy some perfume oils. They're essential oils. They're blends from a little shop called Whisper Sisters. And a lot of the fragrances are patchoulis and cloves and just smoky notes, incense, that kind of stuff. That is my cup of tea there, the stuff that I like to wear. And I remember her saying one time that the castoreum that she puts in her blends is vegan. And I'm like, well, what the heck is it? And I looked it up. I don't know if you want to know because it's really gross. Have you ever thought of musk? Musk comes from the odor or the scent glands of animals, right? Well, castoreum, I wrote it down. It comes from the castor sacs of mature beavers, and they mix it with urine to mark their territory. They scent their territory with it. Who thought like, that smells good, I want to wear that? I don't know, somebody did, and that's what's the notes in opium. This is synthetic, this fragrance, so I'm not worried about it actually containing male beaver, mature beaver, fragrance glands, whatever. I'm not worried about it, but it's still really gross to think about. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just continue just to fill in all these little gaps with leaves and little pipettes. And I've got some bursting beads in gold from Brambleberry that I'm going to sprinkle on here, and I got a fairy duster of Nancy Sinatra's Gold Boots by Mad Micahs. I thought the gold would be a nice touch, and the name to me for some reason sounded like it fit with the soap. I don't know. Alright. Then I will give it a little spray with rubbing alcohol. It'll sit for 24 hours, like all my soaps, and I'll bring you guys back when I go to cut it. Alright, I'm kind of getting poinsettia vibes from this. Hopefully when I cut it, it'll look a little more like poppies with the colors on the inside and not so much Christmassy. We'll see. Don't mind the broken strings on my multi-bar cutter. I did snap 2 of them. I have a tendency of doing that when I tighten them. And it's pain in the butt to replace them. We'll have to get Brad to replace it. I also thought I lined this loaf up so that I got 12 bars, and judging by this end guy, I did not. But that's fine. We'll put them in there as samples. Alright, let's take a look at this, and I do not feel like it looks like Christmas now. Once it's cut, I think it looks exactly how I imagined it. So the green did lighten up a little bit on here. It's not as dark, so it doesn't look as Christmassy to me. But here's the inside, and that black really helps as well to make it not look like Christmas. So I am happy with this soap. I think it smells lovely. I want to pipe more flowers after making this soap. Will I get around to it is another story. But yeah, it's perfect. I love it. It turned out so good. If you guys want to purchase this, the next shop update is going to be June 24th, so you can mark your calendars. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you are new and haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. You know how it works. Questions or comments, leave them for me in the comment section down below. Tell me whether or not you think I absolutely must make more piped flower soaps. And until next time, I hope you guys have a very nice day, and I will smell you later.